You're wrong. You don't know. Everybody on my circuit, they against the Israelites. We hate the Israelites. We can't stand their doctrine.
Are you accused of molesting your wife's niece, who is your niece through marriage?
I have no recollection of that. You would have to inform me of what you're talking about. I have no recollection of that.
Okay, I will be able to one day. So I have my third question. Captain Cesario, do you have a homie that's in prison right now for child molestation that you support financially?
Yes.
But I thought you were against child molestation and those that are molesters to children.
I am against child molestation and those that molest children.
So why are you supporting this person, but you speak ill against others that have a love for people that have been just accused of child molestation?
Okay, I'll answer your question very easily. When I was at both cases of both trials, the evidence that they had, they gave the brother a lie detector test, which he passed. They tested the sister for, the young girl rather, whether her hymen was broke because he was accused of molesting her. Her hymen was not broke. A hymen, for those that don't know, a hymen is something that they use to test to see if the woman's or the child's virginity has been broken or anything like that. There was information that she said that she gave, which she then retracted. So the first case that they did was thrown out. The second case, they did not want to answer to. The jury was hung on it, and the judge did not want to release them until they came up with an answer, and then they came up with a guilty verdict. So from observing the case, if he was guilty of the crime, I would in no way support the brother. But from the evidence of the case, from the testimonies of him as well as the individuals involved, he was not guilty, even though he was found guilty.
Wow, so he was not guilty even though he was found guilty, but you speak ill against someone else that is not guilty, but they say he was guilty. So I have a question. This brother that you support, does he have children?
Yes.
And if so, do you ever say to those children, you have a father that's a child molester?
No, I don't.
Well, why do you do that to others that have a love for Dr. Malachi B. York ill and cause his children of him being a quote-unquote so-called child molester, and you speak for supporting him?
Do you celebrate the death of Africans?
We about to say, in what capacity? Let me before I answer.
Do you celebrate the death of Africans? It's very clear. It's plain English.
Well, we got a Passover coming up, so that would be the death of the Egyptians.
Okay, but my question to you, and you
I
can
just
answer by
answered
yes
it.
or no.
I just answered it.
You said we have a Passover coming, and you mentioned the Egyptians. Right now, you're buying
Are
time.
Egyptians? Are Egyptians? No, are Egyptians not Africans?
Are you celebrating?
I'm
the death
asking
of
you a
Africans?
question. I just
You
said
see,
we have.
sisters, he doesn't want to answer because he knows it sounds bad. It sounds worse than MLK because MLK is one guy.
I think what I
But you're
just
talking
said
about
is
the whole
worse than
population.
saying death of Africans, because those deaths are African babies. You know what the Passover is about? The Passover is about when he passed over the firstborn sons of the Israelites, but killed all the firstborn sons and animals of the Egyptians who are Africans. I'm not dodging your question. I'm just expounding on it.
Well, okay, can you answer by yes or no then? Do you
Yes,
celebrate the death of
I'm going
Africans?
to celebrate the Passover, which is about the death of Egyptians that were killing our babies. That's called
All right.
justice.
He doesn't want to answer the question
I said,
directly,
yeah.
but he
Wait.
still
I
answered
said,
it.
wait. What are you talking
So
about?
can you state for the record, I celebrate the death of Africans then? Go ahead.
So first you wanted me to say yes or no. You didn't want me to expound. Then when I
Okay,
say yes, now you want me to say it another way. Are you
okay,
so stuck on like you like an
say no
amateur?
more.
You're an amateur.
You can say that, but you know you're in your feelings right now. It's okay. You know you have the right.
I'm
to
not
be
in my
emotional.
feelings, man. I done
It's
answered
okay,
the same question twice.
brother. What? Okay, that's
I
what I'm
answered
going
the
to say.
question
Say no
twice.
more. I asked him if he celebrates the death of Africans, and he answered yes. So we heard it for the record. Cesaria, do you celebrate the death of Europeans?
I haven't seen a bunch of Europeans dead to celebrate.
Do you celebrate the death of Europeans?
You would have to help me understand why you're asking that
Yes or no,
question.
please. Yes or no, please.
I
Just like
will,
you were quick to answer yes when I asked you to celebrate the death of Africans. Now I'm asking
because
you, do you celebrate the death of Europeans?
okay.
That's
So now I'm
twice.
gonna. No, wait. So when you ask me about the death of
You support the
Africans,
death of Europeans. That's 3 times.
when you ask about the death of Africans, I referenced a actual
Do
holiday
you
we have
celebrate
that
the death
celebrate.
of Europeans?
Answer,
That's 4
Shaka.
times.
Yeah,
Shaka, you gotta
So
know
I'm
the
going to do 5
listening
answer.
times
is an
just like
art.
him.
Okay,
He's trying to
no.
answer you,
The
Shaka.
to answer the
Yes or
question,
no?
I'm just about to answer it. No. Now you may now I'm gonna say
Thank you.
no, and then I'm gonna no sweat.
The Proto-Semitic Allah burning down tells us was a black God represented by a black bull whose hide denoted his black skin.
Here's the picture that he showed on the screen. It's a deity El, the god El. Pay attention to the crown or the headdress, if you will. This is a picture from the front of the same statue, a little closer, and a little bit from the side here. Now, this headdress is actually the Atef crown. If you go on Webster's online dictionary, that's what it says. Atef is the specific feathered white crown of the Egyptian deity Osiris. It combines the head jet, the crown of Upper Egypt, with red ostrich feather for the Osiris cult. The Atef crown identifies Osiris in ancient Egyptian painting. If you go to Webster's dictionary, Merriam-Webster, it says Atef, hold on, a tall crown with a long feather on each side, shown in the art of ancient Upper Egypt as worn by Osiris. Okay? Here you can see Osar or Osiris with the Atef crown. This is from the papyrus of Nebket. It's actually in the Louvre Museum, and you can see me filming that papyrus on the video entitled Reality Check. Why black people ain't going nowhere. But you might as well put Afro Style Reality Check, it's gonna come up. And in here, it's also from the Louvre Museum. You have Osiris in the middle with the Atef crown, and the description for it. If you go on the website of the Louvre Museum and you type Royal and Divine Triad, you can do a search and you will see they mention that he is actually wearing the Atef crown. Now, finally, you can compare the crowns. Okay, first you have the god of the Arabs Negroes, which first is El, but somehow, some way becomes Allah. But that's up to y'all. That's up to the doctor. And then you have the one that I showed you, Osiris. Then again, from the front, compared with another statue of Osiris, and then finally the same statue from another angle.
Biblical king's seal discovered in dump site. This is the royal seal of the king Hezekiah. And here we have an ankh. And finally, last but not least, you need to see it to believe it. the God of the Bible. L. Slept in his own dung and urine. This is Ugaritic Narrative Poetry, page 195. And we also have this book here, the Masria in the Prophetic Literature, where it clearly says that L floundered in his own feces and urine.
We haven't brought closure to Karinga. We let him build a holiday. The same one who set up Black Panthers in ambushes at UCLA and other places. The same one who tortured his wife and another woman brutally, sticking bottles in their vagina, using electrical shocks, and the FBI saved him.
He has not atoned to the community for his attempt to destroy the Panther movement. He has not atoned for being a police informer. He has not atoned for the way he treated black women. And look now, the women he mistreated and mutilated were dark in complexion. The women in his harem are light in complexion. The number one woman is a Mexican with what seemed to be an Afro wig.
Since I've been a part of this conscious community, sexual misconduct has been condemned and vilified almost unanimously. We saw the rise and fall of Dr. York. We had Hebrew Israelite, the brother by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He was convicted, I think, twice for sexual behavior against minors. He was widely condemned by the Hebrew Israelite community, but apparently forgiven by the Israelites, because I see him all over the place right now on everybody's channel. Another brother by the name of Nazi Yashavel, another Israelite, also involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. We have no idea where this brother is, but he's been sheltered somewhere by an Israelite group.
I'm going to tell you why, because I'm an Israelite and Tazariak Israelite. And I think his doctrine is off compared to what we teach it. We both had the same mission, but he's telling the Israelites it's okay to mix race, right? He's telling that they got a doctrine saying that if a child reached a flower, they could be 15 or 9 years old, you could have sex with them.
Now, Sanetta, if you don't mind, you said that other people teach that you can have sex with a 9-year-old girl. Like, do you mind telling which other Hebrew Israelite organization teach that? Because you see, I'm not from New York, you know, so to me it's news, and I'd like to know when I go to New York with my daughter where I should avoid going. So, if you don't mind, Sanetta, which other Hebrew Israelite organization teach that thing that GMS teach?
Well, there's a lot of Hebrew Israelite groups out there that teach that. I'm not calling out no names or nothing like that. All I'm gonna tell you is that a lot of them teach that, brother. A lot of Hebrew Israelites teach that.
Can I ask you a question, Sanetta?
Yeah.
You said he's a pedophile. You were talking about Nazi, were you?
Yes.
Can you just tell us what it is about? And you see, I'm not gonna say, oh, you talk about people. You know, that's what everybody does.
No. This is different. Yasavel, you know, because the Hebrews would say anything about polite real quick, but they own man. Nazi Yashavel ended up being a goddamn pedophile, having sex with one of his wife's daughters, man. And he got ran out of town.
How old was she, the girl?
I don't know.
Was she underage?
Reggie, do you remember that?
She was underage, and yeah. But you know, look.
And guess what? Hebrews tried to cover that shit up, but it was coming out so quick and hard.
We have those guys who've been convicted for sexual misconduct. Garfield Reed spoke about this. Yourself, you spoke about Nazi. And Garfield Reed said that Hebrew camps are sheltering Nazi. So, and, you know, it's sensitive because I know he's your friend. But, you know, Mighty Hebrew, several people have said that he was convicted for sexual misconduct, that he went to jail for that. He did.
He did.
Well, oh, well, okay, well, you know, so you're confirming, you know, so why?
Yeah, everybody know that. He went to jail for that. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, you know what I'm saying? So obviously.
But Hebrews cover up for Hebrews. That's what they do.
All right.
And they go on everybody's platform and none of them niggas say a damn thing. But if I talk to Polite on the phone, oh man, how the fuck? So I'm never talking to Polite. Nigga, get the hell out of my chat. I talk to who I want to talk to. Innocent, like you said, until proven guilty, man.
Yeah, he was not convicted yet. You know what I'm saying? So Garfield Reed didn't lie then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When he talked about and Garfield Reed said even twice he thinks. Some people said that the second time is because he did not sign.
Yeah, he got violated. He got violated the second time. Yes.
Yeah. So what does it mean he got violated?
Well, he had a violation. I don't know why, but they came back and locked him up again on a violation charge, something like that. But all them niggas been doing that shit for a long time. Hebrews been out there molesting people and all that shit for a long time, and it's always covered up by other Hebrew Israelites. The only way we'll find out about it if we looking and searching and we see it. Oh shit, this pops up, and we catch it, you know, and then they'll come out and say something about it because we got them.
Which we teach now is that when you go into the law in the ancient world, men, if they saw a woman that they like, they can grab the woman up and rape the woman, man. and we're going to read the scriptures. We're going to read the scriptures.
The scripture answer it better.
That's scripture.
Deuteronomy 22 and 25.
The scriptures
But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her, I'm sorry, verse 28. My bad. Verse 28. Yeah.
Come on, don't be putting words in the Bible.
Yeah, verse 28. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed.
The word virgin, by the way, is a Hebrew word. Let me see if I remember. Bathwala. All right. Now, the prophecy of Mary, a virgin shall conceive. The word there, virgin, is ayalama, which means young woman of marriageable age.
Gotcha.
Virgin in here means bathwala, virgin, a woman that never been, hit, so to speak.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver,
a dowry,
and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her, he may not put her away all his days.
Now, when you go back, and you know the Hebrew,
when you sound like prostitution now.
No, he grabbed the woman in the field. The word, no. He humbled it. He gave it to the father after the fact. The word humble, when you go into the Hebrew, the word humble is the word aina.
Yep.
When you look up the word aina, it means to force, to take by force, to arrest. So what does that word mean? Rape.
Yeah.
It means rape.
If somebody was to rape your grandbaby that's 12 years old, you will be all right with that, God forbid. You will be all right with that?
In the kingdom, I couldn't do nothing about it in the kingdom.
In the kingdom.
Let me ask you a question, brother. Before this keeps going, we have to ask you a question. How many of you are fathers here? Just be for real. If you're a father. Now, what if someone is overwhelmed by the spirit of the Most High God, and he reads your scripture and he take your daughter and he just rape your daughter? What do you say to that? If he live like you live, walk like you walk, talk like you talk.
Good question.
Because y'all live amongst each other.
Yeah.
Y'all live amongst each other. So what happens when one of y'all feels so overwhelmed by the spirit of God that when you see one of each other's daughters, you just grab her up? You gonna tell one of these brothers here, come on, you know the doctrine. You know how we get when you get.
Well, answer it.
We just told you that
how would y'all respond?
In this time,
we're not gonna let that happen.
But if it did happen, but if it did happen, you would allow it to happen. Why? Because you go back to the scriptures.
You're supposed to be a brother.
Hold on. You're gonna allow one of your brothers to rape your daughter?
You're saying rape as if rape simply means to grab.
No. We talking about. Now we read the verse. Where someone was.
In the kingdom of heaven. Hey, look.
No. We read the verse, man.
When the kingdom is established, we're gonna get women when they 12 years old.
Right.
All right.
Say it again.
As soon as they start in the kingdom of heaven, when their period starts, that's when they become a woman.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna deal with them when their period starts.
Right.
When their monthly starts.
Question.
Have sex with them. Have babies, man.
With 12-year-olds?
Brother, in the kingdom, we're gonna do that, man. We're gonna get them young. We're gonna get them young.
And the kingdom is
the kingdom is right here, but the Most High is gonna establish the kingdom. All right?
Say something.
No, look up in Google women that were pregnant under the age of 12. You got 9-year-old women that were pregnant. You got 11-year-old that were pregnant. Yeah. As soon as they get their period, they become a woman.
When did Eve become a woman?
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
Malcolm didn't know what he was playing with. No, he didn't. He didn't know what he was playing with. You don't jump up against a divine messenger of God like he did. He asked to die. And God obliged you. No, you don't understand. Like someone said, did you Muslims kill Malcolm? So the messenger said, and what if we did? He said, what if we did? Have you ever seen a leader scandalized like Malcolm scandalized Muhammad? Have you ever heard of anything like that? Don't you know if you scandalize a man who's loved and honored by the people, what are you asking for? You're asking for death. And he got what he asked for. And those who killed him If he's your leader, what the hell would you stand up for? Now all of a sudden they can serve you a dead man on a platter. And you eat him up as your leader, not knowing nothing about him while he was alive and know less about him now that he's dead. Malcolm's momentum carried him to his death.
Yeah, I love Elijah Muhammad enough that if you attack him, I would kill you. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I'm not a killer, but neither are you. But if somebody attack what you love, each one of you in here would become a killer instantaneously. Am I lying? Mother, let somebody look like they're attacking your child. Here's a woman who fought a bear because the bear snatched her baby. And she ran the bear down, screaming until the bear dropped her baby. Love casts out fear. We don't give a damn about no white man law when you attack what we love. And frankly, it ain't none of your business. What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours? You just shut your mouth and stay out of it. Because in the future, we're going to become a nation. And the nation got to be able to deal with traitors and cutthroats and turncoats. The white man deals with his. The Jews deal with theirs. Salman Rushdie wrote a nasty thing about the prophet, and Imam Khomeini put out a death thing on him, and it stands today.
Our zeal, our love and hatred, our ignorance was manipulated by powerful outside forces. And the result is that members of the Nation of Islam were involved in the assassination of Malcolm X. And the nation has taken the heat and carried the burden of the murder of Malcolm X. We cannot deny whatever our part was. That is true.
The railway never being booked. Road Kemet garbage. If you want to get off sensitive, come on, go ahead. About blacks, conquering blacks. Throw Maya in the trash can. Throw Ahmed Rock, the slave nation, God away.
I said our leaders belong to us. They don't belong to him being Puerto Rican or even white. Why do ISUPK? Because you want to claim somebody to be your brother. Why is it okay for him to disrespect any of our leaders, no matter who they are?
Okay, I don't know what leaders you're talking about, but Kadazar or the Titan.
One of them, and he was
okay. Martin Luther King ain't shit, so I mean I agree with him.
Well, even if you said it, even if you said it.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you. So Taino Indians, listen. Let me answer your question. Taino Indian
passed away. Everything changed. No, it took time for things to change. I know because
I don't want to talk about Martin Luther King, but Taino Indians are my brothers, just like Dominicans, like Sarnetta is my brother, just like Haitians are my brother.
I'm
just like
African,
Seminole.
brother. I'm African,
You
brother.
Dominican, your daddy Dominican.
I'm
just like
African Dominican.
So if Sarnetta's Dominican ass can be my brother and can talk about Martin Luther King, then Katazaz's Puerto Rican ass can be my brother and talk about Martin Luther King.
But that makes you sound like a sucker.
So then can Sarnetta as a Dominican talk about Martin Luther King? I'm asking you a question.
No, I say that Martin Luther King was a great guy. He was
no,
a
he
great.
said we can't talk about our leaders. So
Martin Luther King to me was a fearless. Captain. Martin Luther King was a fearless man, fearless black man. I think he was a great man, brother. He sacrificed his life for his people, regardless of which way he did it. So what? We ain't got to agree with him, but I think he was.
I don't want to focus on.
We don't want to switch.
I want to focus on Martin Luther King. But what I'm simply saying is,
you judge by your intentions anyway. His
the Bible don't
intentions
say
were
that.
good for us.
The Bible don't say that. The Bible say he deserved death. But I don't want to talk about Martin Luther King.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. It said that dreamer. If that dreamer come, you want me to read it? You said it don't.
It's a whole bunch of.
You said the Bible. You said the Bible say it. So since you're talking about the Bible, let's go to Deuteronomy 13. It says, "If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and give it thee a sign or a wonder."
Right, hold on, y'all. One at a time.
I thought she would respect the scripture. Deuteronomy 13:1. If there arise among you a prophet or dreamer of dreams, and give it thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, Let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them, thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God proveth you to know whether ye love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Verse 5. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death. So don't tell me that what he did was of God when what he did was against God. But I don't want to talk about Martin Luther King. You asked about.
Okay.
Microphone check. Microphone check 1 2. All right, it's okay. Hotep Senuhena Senut E Tiran Isha Kandugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. The title of this video is Are We Allowed to Criticize Child Molesters? We have 43 people online. Now, let me share the link to get on the platform before I go through the comments. Link to get on the panel. Now, I don't know if you've heard what somebody said regarding the Hebrew Israelites. It's less than 15 seconds long.
You're wrong. You don't know. Everybody on my circuit, they against the Israelites. We hate the Israelites. We can't stand their doctrine.
Somebody's not being 100. No pun intended. Now, those elder Hebrew Israelites, they rely on the Bible. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 36. Is she past the flower of her age? See that? 1 Corinthians sorry, chapter 7, verse 36. But if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age, and it so require, let him do what he will, he sinneth not. Let them marry. So, when those Hebrew Israelites holler at some young girls, do they tell them, well, don't worry, it's cool. We go by the word of God. We go by the Bible. I'm going to raise you like your daddy. What do they tell them? Now, if a girl is 9 years old and she has a period, which happens sometimes, so she gets down with some of those Hebrew Israelites who follow the Bible to the fullest. She has a child. And once that child is 9 years old, she meets another Hebrew Israelite and they get married. Of course, not legally, because I don't see any state, if in any state in the United States of America, that will allow a marriage of a 9-year-old girl. That means that by 18 years old, the girl can be a grandmother. Can you imagine? 18-year-old grandmother. And I'm thinking about the OnlyFans moderator who looks young as heck. She says she's a mother, so I'm thinking, there's some Hebrew on her OnlyFans Facebook page, so maybe she went through that early. But I'm not too focused on that lady. I'm focused on all the children that are being approached by those Hebrew Israelites to get down like that. Because even if it's not marriage, when they are convicted of child molestation, then it's cool. And even the people who hate them, they are cool with them. Now, you heard those GMS Hebrew Israelites. And there's that passage in Deuteronomy, where it says that, somebody grabs a woman in the field and, and he forces her, I now. Then all he has to do is if they are caught, because if they're not caught, hey, the guy go by his business. It's like, just another one to the list. And he can go on and do it with as many women as he wants, because the Bible is clear. If they are caught, you understand what I'm saying? You need to then he has to give the 50 shekels or whatever that is, whatever the amount is. Now, the younger Hebrews, like you said, a dowry, try to make it sound better. The older's like, nah, he gave her to the father after the fact. He humbled her first, then he gave her to the father after the fact. Let me go to the comments. V. Bennett is in the place to be, and he wrote, I bet your phone was lit today. Lord, did you get cursed out yet? Well, I got cursed out yesterday. I told you all that first somebody told me that was going to flag me. Then he called me the N-word. Then he told me, my people won't F with you. And after I finished the live stream, I received another message. I didn't reply to any of those messages, So that was 4 in total. And he told me that I was a BASS N-word. And he said a few things. And then he said that anybody that messes with him, anybody that F's with him, will not be effing with me. And I'm thinking, well, are they slaves or mere servants or just plain groupies? He just tell people, okay, this is what you do, this is who you follow, this is who you don't follow, and they all obey. Is this how it works over there? Do they get paid? Now remember that the moderators are supposed to be courteous towards the guest. But I was told that when I was on, you have the same people who never criticize a child molester in their lives that has been disrespecting me. I didn't lose sleep over it because it's not from yesterday. But you see, now when I used to pronounce the word pedophile, I guess some people figured, well, pedophile is just a guy who likes them young. So it is better to use child molester because like we have addressed, I think it was yesterday. I'd rather listen to Wu-Tang Clan because Wu-Tang is for the baby. The conscious community, Pan-Africans, don't care about the children. If they cared about the children, they would denounce the people who sleep with children. And what those guys have tried to do is to come up with a narrative of, oh, that's old news. Oh, that's gossip. Well, let's listen to what you see the young only fine ladies who are moderators on all those channels, they don't care. They will not criticize any child molesters. You have to wonder, hey, why? But when you have a grown woman who has maturity, this is what she will say.
Okay, Sister Sacred Infinite, feel free to speak, sister.
Peace and blessings to you, Shaka, and peace and blessings to everyone on the panel and everyone in the chat. I just wanted to give my take on things as far as the gossip in the conscious community. What I want to say, Shaka, is it seems as if, when you shed light onto people's dirty, devilish things that you do, it seems like nobody wants to deal with it. I feel like these things, people should be put in the hot seat. We should be dealing with it as a conscious community, correcting it and say that we don't approve of it instead of terming it gossip or, oh, that's old news. How can anything ever be old news when people are constantly being introduced to the conscious community? Everyone didn't arrive at the same time, and not only is it some of this stuff isn't old, some of this stuff is actually happening right now, and it is a conversation, even if it's tough, that needs to be had.
All right.
You heard that? Not everybody is irresponsible and careless. Where have you been in the place to be? I'm going to put you on the panel, brother. Hotep, brother, feel free to speak.
Yeah, Hotep, Shaka. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother.
Okay. Yeah, there's so much to explore in that ISUPK, not only them, but how they get initiates, the process they take initiates through, and then what's going on after that point with their membership. What are their members' real activities? How do they collect their tithe? And like you said, this thing about young women, I mean, there's no numbers. Usually when you have organizations, you could demand that organization makes those records public, right? So you see how many members they have, who their members are, things like that, general information. But I would suspect they keep a lot of that secret. But the other thing I wanted to say is that place is danger. It's danger, man. If you notice, if you watch, you will see a lot of people that become members become very erratic, right? Become very angry fast, right? And with the way they use those scriptures to get into your mind, it's really, I would have to guess that somebody very experienced taught them how to do that. It's not just like something you pick up through practice, learning all on your own. It's very determined, I would say, and it's there to create anger in a person, to make that person go out and do something bad, react on that anger. So if you always quote violent parts of the Bible that say you have the right to kill this person, or I'll give you one example. I don't know if they preach this out in the open, but inside of the temples, they have this thought that they teach where they say on the day of reckoning, you're going to have a sword and you're going to be chopping off so many devil's heads that the blood is going to be up to your neck. That's so they mix the Bible up with these things. See? And what that does to a young man that thinks that he's oppressed or is oppressed, but thinks that they're going to help him, that think that everybody's in it out of brotherly love, right? He might actually go out there and hurt somebody. You see? And then the other thing is that none of it makes sense. The more you get into these books, it shackles you, you know, and that's got to be so confusing for a person to get out of it. It's really mental abuse, man. And in our community, we take mental abuse like it's not violent, but really it's mental violence. That's what it is. So I would say it's shameful that we allow people like that to be in our circles, on our panels. Like you said, I mean, some people do it, like Saad does it, saying that oh, we get to learn and we get to know that it's out there. But as you can see, something else is going on behind the door, right? If there's another agenda, and that agenda is not the one that they're selling outright. The agenda is not brotherly love. The agenda is something more scrupulous, you know, and we just have to wait to see how it all plays out. You know, there was one thing that Polite said on tape, and you got it on tape. He said, everybody knows Polite is innocent until proven guilty, first of all. Just because you believe he's guilty, that's not bad. That's okay. You believe he's guilty, okay, you can believe he's innocent. But we know he's innocent technically until proven guilty under the law, which they don't really respect anyway. But but he said, if I go down, all y'all going down. Find that clip. What is that all about? What does that mean? What's he talking about? You know? I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna stay on the
Well,
panel, but I'm here.
yeah, yeah, of course. Well, I guess we'll find out, you know, if the verdict will be guilty. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. But we do have the evidence. We do have one Hebrew Israelite who has decided to defend, support his brother who was convicted of child molestation. And that doesn't bother anybody.
Oh, on that topic, right? Thank you. I want some clarity on that too. Like when he says, when they say, I sent money or I helped him, I'm helping him, or I sent him money. What I'm wondering is that the organization money from the tithes collected from members, or is it his personal money? Because if it's the organization's money, it means the organization's supporting pedophiles. And
Well,
also, I wanted to say one more thing about that. You know, we don't have to wait until one of these people rape somebody. We know through the doctrine that they're teaching that they're pedophile. They're teaching pedophilia. You don't have to act on it to be a pedophile because you believe in it. That's it. Belief is enough. Saying it is enough. If you're a racist, you don't have to act. You can just say something racist, and everybody knows you're a racist. Well, it's the same thing with pedophiles.
hmm yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess that's where you draw the line between a quote unquote mere pedophile and a child molester. Child molester, we just, you know, put in work, you know. And, you know, it's funny because they can see a, you know, can be on the phone. Hey, I got a girl to introduce you to. And he's like, how old is she? 17. Oh, no, man. She too old, man. You know, 18. Oh, she's just grandmama age, you know. I mean, dang. But we will never know, I presume, if it's somebody's personal money or the organization's money, because this is the kind of thing that, you know, under normal circumstances, they will not talk about. But it looked like he was very taken aback because she first asked about him. And he had that very strange answer. I don't have any recollection of that. It's just like when I asked him, do you celebrate the death of Africans? He started saying, in what capacity? Like, how many times you ask somebody a question like, you know, you're going to the club later on? In what capacity? Oh, did you take my money? In what capacity?
Exactly.
You know?
He may as well just say, "I plead the fifth."
Yeah, you might as well say that. And then later on, when I asked him, "Do you celebrate the death of Europeans?" He was like, "Well, you have to tell me what you mean." And this is the things I've been telling people for so long. When you ask people a very simple question, because it's inconvenient or they don't know how to answer it, they be like, "How do you define this or whatever?" I mean, in what capacity? Now, I never expected he would say that, but if I knew he would say that, I would have replied in the capacity of the English language. But I did say, it's plain English. It's very simple. It's in plain English. So when the lady asked him that question, he said, "I don't recall. I don't have no." He said, I have no recollection. You have to tell me what you're talking about." Very strange way to answer.
Exactly.
So he was taken aback. And then she moved to, do you have a homie who is in prison? And then he was taken aback. So he said, I guess he wished he would have, cut her off short right there and now. You know what I'm saying? But we heard how the convo went. And then he said that he was found guilty, but he was not guilty. He said that there was a guilty verdict. So just like he decides what people should talk about. He decides what slander is. He decides what guilty is. Is he God, or is he the son of God, or is he a prophet? He makes the laws. Basically, he knows better than the law, and that's their mentality. Whatever they say is right. When it's somebody from another group, then the person is guilty. When it's their group, the person is not guilty. Is not guilty. It's amazing, man. It is amazing.
Yep. And
And we
we
heard
accept it.
we heard there was two cases. We heard there was two cases, and with teachings like that, it's not surprising. And the funny thing is that we've seen that this is in the Bible. I've just shared the link earlier. I guess that's why they like the King James version so much, because if you look at the New International Version or other versions, you know, they knew better than to translate it otherwise. But the King James version gives anybody that has pedophilic, or I'm sorry, tendencies of pedophiles, then they're good to go. You see, but they state indeed that the Bible is their foundation. So how convenient! It is of the Lord. It is of God. You know. But
Absolutely.
now with that title, we're gonna see, because now it's getting less and less efficient to say, "Oh, it's old news. Oh, it's gossip." You know, they thought that, okay, let's all gang up together and let's all keep repeating that, and it will get into the psyche of the people. But no, there's limits to this.
Well, they forgot that the camera is on. So all that you do is being documented. So people are going to go back in history and say, "Oh, that's how you dealt with it. This is what you got out of it." And they're so used to convincing people that they don't realize it doesn't work. Most people see it for what it is when you call it out. So you do the same trick over and over and over. People are going to see it. And I hope people that are a part of that clique or cult, right, will will keep in mind that when they're using their talking points, they're being documented.
Hmm.
And if you're not making sense, you're documenting yourself not making sense.
Hmm.
That's not good for you.
Hmm. And it's funny that the same group proclaimed that Martin Luther King wasn't but in their own camp, there's somebody who was convicted for child molestation, but they would not say that about that person. How are you going to have more disdain for Martin Luther King than a convicted child molester? And those are the people who teach me. Can you imagine what they say behind closed doors when there are no cameras?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's brainwashed, menticide. They're having a conflict with themselves, and they're using this tool, this brainwash, to it's actually directed at them, at their own body. So when they digest it, it's easy to start taking it in. You think it's not going nowhere. It's much harder to get it out. And when you walk into one of those groups and you think you want to join, it shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes of being inside that temple for an intelligent person to know, wait a second, there's something very sinister going on here. And just leave and don't go back. But the people that stay, it's like being a young prostitute. You meet a pimp, he's a nice guy. You don't have many options. You start realizing he's a little abusive, and you make up reasons why you got to accept it because, he's going to be gaslighting you the whole time and making you feel like it's your fault if you leave and he's trying to help you. You're doing me wrong now. Come on, all the stuff they totally twist your brain up, man. That's violent. That kind of stuff is worse. It's just like having a nuclear bomb drop in your community, and we accept it.
Mm-hmm.
It's poison. We
Yeah, the
accept it.
community does accept it, and the two Hebrew Israelites who were convicted for child molestation, it was said that they molested the daughter of their partner or slash wife. So you can imagine that single mothers will be incited to join them because they will portray themselves as welcoming people who want to, uphold the family and so on. But when a girl is already a single mother, there can be some stigma. Then she finds somebody, she gets married, which most likely will not be legal marriages, but just religious marriages. But then she will be happy. Okay, I have somebody. I'm somebody's wife. Now I'm seen as a honest woman, and then the unthinkable happens to her own daughter. So what is the mentality now? Because just a woman who gets raped, many of them actually do not report it because of the shame. It's so horrible and hard to deal with that. But now it happened to the daughter. The mother will feel guilty for having put her daughter in that environment. You see?
Yes.
And what kind of technique do they say? What kind of technique? What they surely say some things for some of those women to basically not go ahead the legal route and press
Well,
charges.
if you look at how they use the Bible to gaslight people, you know, and then you can imagine that they pretty much going to use anything to gaslight. The idea that we helped you, the idea that you're turning your backs on us, you know,
Mm,
the idea that you're doing the group wrong. Group was there for you, and a lot of people, if you're a person that needed help and the system wasn't there to help you, and nobody else will help you, then actually those kind of words play a big role in your mind. It's like saying I help, uh, but you're gonna stay here now. You're gonna get this food, but the food has poison, and the longer you stay, the more you're gonna sink. But
mm,
if you leave here, who's going to help you? So it's just like, I mean, a lot of these organizations, they're picking for helpless people. That's why they call it predators. And when they're looking for the women, they're looking for young women. Why? Because they're predators.
yeah.
I mean, it's just a predator circle, and we got to do something about it. But the first thing is acknowledging it and being very clear that it can't be accepted, can't be
Mm,
promoted. You know?
yeah. But if some people have any, testimonials, feel free in the chat, even if you don't get on the panel. Actually, let me just go through the chat and see what we have so far. Now we have Stephen. Hold on. There is Stephen Pascal in the place to be. We have Michelle Grant in the place to be. Now we have Nikki Willie in the place to be. We have Andrea Brunette in the place to be. Nikki Willie says, so there's going to be pedophilia in heaven? Well, they might presume that, as on earth as it is in heaven. So they might presume that, most likely indeed. But we don't know what happens in heaven. We know what happens here. Now, if you follow Farrakhan, your hair will get straight, your nose will get thinner, and your lips will also. Basically, it's called annual plastic surgery job. Uh, Far Muhammad, inventor of plastic surgery. I'm sorry. Malcolm did teach the same Nation of Islam rhetoric, not in the same wording as Farrakhan, but we have Malcolm on tape saying, talking about the hair texture. We have Donnie Williams in the place to be. We have Tom Master in the place to be. I'm skipping a few comments, brothers and sisters. Oh, we have Blaya in the place to be. It's all about the scriptures. I mean, we've seen the discussion how they kept referring to the scriptures. It is of the Lord. And for those who have missed it, just check the intro. We have an elder who's asked, what happens if one of your brother just, just lives with your daughter or rape your daughter? And he said, I couldn't do nothing about it. But when you have guys who do it to other children, would it be fair for them to say, well, I do it to other children, but it cannot be done to my children? Ultimately, the number one thing that they have in mind is to make it happen with children. I mean, where are all the people who've been disrespecting me and others for being against child molestation? See, here the question is, are we allowed to criticize child molesters? It is a topic indeed. Where are all those people who want to say that's gossiping and that's old news? If one of their family member will come to them and say, well, this is what happened to me, if they tell them that they were victim of child molestation, will they tell them how long was it? Oh, it was like 2 months ago. Oh, that's all news. Or if they say, well, my friend or my cousin told me that he/she was victim of child molestation, we say, oh, that's gossiping. It didn't happen to you. Mind your business. What kind of answers would they give? Because we see how they behave towards grown men. They disrespect them. There was a status quo. Now they be like, man, and it's like, you see, if maybe you set up shop, you become the competition, they'll see you as messing up with their money. And now like,
Yo,
man,
Shaka,
yes, brother, feel free.
it's just convenient excuse. It's just convenient to say that it's old news. Yeah, we know it's old news because it's news about you happening now. So it's old news. That's all it is. It's like you got Polite going to court for the same thing, right? You got Sa Netter sitting on panels with people with organizations that promote pedophilia, right? And I will go as far as to say pedophile organization because they preach it, you know.
So the Lord, it's in the scriptures.
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, they're going to say something like, "Oh, that's old news." Yes, yeah. Slavery was old news. Rape is, genocide is old news. Um, there's a lot of things that are old news and very relevant to us today, or at least we say it. Don't they go out on the corner every day and talk about something that happened? They talk about Mafa. Is Mafa new news or is it old news? So what we're talking about is, let's be honest. I tried to give Sa the benefit of the doubt, which is crazy, but you have to do that in a court. Again, no, you're innocent until proven guilty. So I always try to lean on the innocent part until the guilty verdict comes in. But you're dealing with people that are forked tongue, that contradict themselves in every single way that you could contradict, and they do it under the name of Africanness, blackness, justice, and these are the most horrendous violations that you can make. You see, it's just there's no respect in it whatsoever. It's the lowest form of. I mean, I don't know, man. You're a dog. When you do your own people like that, you're a dog. And Ma'at, you can't run from it. You can't run from Ma'at. Ma'at lets you do all the wickedness that you want to do, but it doesn't let you escape the wickedness you do. It catches back up to you. So all the things that you think you gain, you watch them crumble in front of your eyes. That's justice. And you do it to yourself, you know? So if there's anybody out there that thinks African Americans can get justice treating each other that way, put up a 2.
And like I said well, for those who don't know, our brother Ching Ching, who is a supporter of the channel, a live stream was made about him on that large platform. And when I went to the gym today, I realized that the video was made private. But our brothers told us that, and I didn't see the live stream. I wasn't really planning on watching it anyway. But he told us that his phone number was published, was shared online, and that the owner of the channel told people to look him up. Why is it that the owner of the channel doesn't tell people, well, look up this child molester, look up the organization of the child molester, but it's going to tell people to look up somebody just because he disagrees with the guy and just because he talks about something that was said years ago. And we have the footage of what was said years ago. So I don't understand. I think it's kind of strange. And I'm being diplomatic.
Well,
why would you tell your audience, here's his phone number, look him up, but when you know they are convicted child molesters, it's cool.
his word was, I ain't going to give no names, but, when you asked him about the Hebrew Israelites and which organizations do that, he said, I ain't going to give no names.
Yeah. How strange that there he says, I ain't going to give no name, but he had no problem giving the brother's phone number. I'm like, So what are the priorities? Besides, the latest live stream was with Tariq Nasheed, who's known as the #1 FBA guy, someone who's very divisive, who's disrespected non-Black Americans, disrespected Africans, Caribbeans, And in the title, we see, did he smack, So here, I guess the monkey moderators don't say that he's gossiping. Those talking points are just amazing because we're supposed to all care about the babies. We're supposed to all care about the children. But apparently, with the conscious community, Pan-Africans, we are not all in agreement whether or not it should be accepted, whether or not child molesters should be accepted. Because ISUPK seem to accept them, and GMS seem to accept them as well. And the thing is that some will ultimately go to jail for statutory rape. And they will probably say, well, my brother is innocent because it was consensual, because he was not forced, he was not raped. But how are we going to have grown men in 2023, in the 2020s, in the 21st century, grown men having sex with 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old girls and pretend like it's cool? I guess as long as it's in the scriptures, then he gets all the passes necessary. Now, they were very comfortable on those different panels in the chat as moderators, blocking us, disrespecting us, making fun of us because we don't share the same views. But when it's time to come here and just state for the record what their views are, state for the record that they are cool with pedophiles or child molesters, they are not here. They know where it's cool. They know where it's accepted. What do we do with this?
Absolutely.
We don't hear the elders when people celebrate the death of black folks, when they celebrate the death of Africans. We don't hear the elders when people teach that black people are marked, disfigured, the essence of ugliness. We don't hear the elders when people teach that Africans are living the jungle life, that Africans are not civilized. And now we have identified groups, at least two, who defend pedophiles, child molesters. Maybe I should say three groups identified. We don't hear the elders.
I mean, what's good about video and recording is that they've documented this themselves. It's just like the thing you played with WAC 100 talking to Sonetta and them talking on the phone, backstabbing each other, him and Captain backstabbing Sonetta backstabbing Captain, all to get down with, both of them wanting to get down with WAC, right? Which tells you a lot about their relationship and also what they call brothers, friends. And you know, if that's how you treat people regularly, then why would the rest of us think we're going to get a fair shot at anything, right? But I think they just they exposed, when you put it on the tape, it speaks for itself. And the reality of it is that this tape is damning to Sa. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Continue. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. In the meantime, I'm continuing with the comments. Nicky Whitty wrote, he said that the child's hymen was not broken. Molestation is not only penetration, it includes touching, kissing, fondling, or introducing sexual content or material to children. Because some people will be slick like that. They will say, oh, he didn't rape her, or I didn't rape her, but they know damn well they molested. You know what I'm saying? So just look at what people say, the justification that they make, the words that they use. And then when I was having the discussion very early on, oh, that's slander, and if you want to go there, and I said, hey, you were sweet with what? So he was thrown off and more busy saying that he wasn't sweet with the dude. But early on, he wanted to be on some intimidating / bullying, like don't talk about that. Well, dang, we have discovered so much in a very short amount of time. You know?
Yeah. Anybody that listens to that tape of Sonetta talking to WAC 100 and they don't walk away understanding very clearly that you cannot expect better from Sonetta of the community, you know, and I hope he's not taking this personal. If he does, who gives a damn? Because it's his own words. But that shows you the role that ego plays, stupidity, and chasing money and having poor ethics. You know, I mean, all those things align in that constellation that they put out there. Pedophilia is in that constellation. Scamming people is in that constellation. And then when you have a known so-called gangster who has to point out your poor ethics to you, I mean, that just says it all. You know, you know, the gangsters got more respect.
Now, for those who don't know, just listen to what somebody said.
You're wrong. You don't know. Everybody on my circuit, they against the Israelites. We hate the Israelites. We can't stand their doctrine.
Now, here, Nutri for Wellness is asking, who are the grown men having sex with underage girl? I heard of Nasi and Mighty Hebrew. Well, for Nasi, let's listen to what was stated publicly. Can I ask you a question, Sanada?
Yeah.
You said he's a pedophile. You were talking about Nasi, were you?
Yes.
Can you just tell us what it is about? And you see, I'm not going to say, oh, you talk about people. You know, that's what everybody does.
No. This is different. Yassavel, you know, because the Hebrews would say anything about polite real quick, but they own man. Nasi Yassavel ended up being a goddamn pedophile, having sex with one of his wife's daughters, man. and he
How
got
old was
ran
she?
out of town.
How old was she, the girl?
I don't know.
Was
It
she
escapes
underage?
me. Reggie, do you remember that?
She was underage, and yeah, but you know, look,
And guess what? Hebrews tried to cover that shit up, but it was coming out so quick and hard.
And Reggie was about to move to another topic. Now that was for Nasi. Now let's hear about Mighty Hebrew. We have those guys who've been convicted for sexual misconduct. Garfield Reed spoke about this. Yourself, you spoke about Nasi. And Garfield Reed said that Hebrew camps are sheltering Nasi. So, and you know, it's sensitive because I know he's your friend, but you know, Mighty Hebrew, several people have said that he was convicted for sexual misconduct, that he went to jail for that. So how you gonna?
He did.
Well, oh, well, okay, well, you know, so you're confirming it, you know. So why
everybody know that he went to jail for that? Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, you know what I'm saying? So obviously,
but Hebrews cover up for Hebrews. That's what they do.
All right. So
and they go on everybody's platform, and none of them niggas say a damn thing. But if I talk to Polite on the phone, oh man, how the fuck? So I'm never talking to Polite. Nigga, get the hell out of my chat. I talk to who I want to talk to. Innocent, like you said, until proven guilty, man.
Yeah. He was not convicted yet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So Garfield Reed didn't lie then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When he talked about and Garfield Reed said even twice he thinks. Some people said that the second time is because he did not sign.
Yeah, he got violated. He got violated the second time. Yes.
Yeah. So what does it mean he got violated?
Well, he had a violation. I don't know why, but they came back and locked him up again on a violation charge, something like that. But all them niggas been doing that shit for a long time. Hebrews been out there molesting people and all that shit for a long time, and it's always covered up by other Hebrew Israelites. The only way we'll find out about it if we looking and searching and we see it. Oh shit, this pops up, and we catch it, you know. And then they'll come out and say something about it because we got them.
So, since Nutri for Wellness is asking, you know, are there others? Well, yes, there are others. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
Are you accused of molesting your wife's niece, who is your niece through marriage?
I have no recollection of that. You would have to inform me of what you're talking about. I have no recollection of that.
Okay, I will be able to one day. So I have my third question. Captain Cesario, do you have a homie that's in prison right now for child molestation that you support financially?
Yes.
But I thought you were against child molestation and those that are molesters to children.
I am against child molestation and those that molest children.
So why are you supporting this person, but you speak ill against others that have a love for people that have been just accused of child molestation?
Okay, I'll answer your question very easily. When I was at both cases of both trials, the evidence that they had, they gave the brother a lie detector test, which he passed. They tested the sister for the young girl, rather, whether her hymen was broke because he was accused of molesting her. Her hymen was not broke. A hymen, for those that don't know, a hymen is something that they use to test to see if the woman's or the child's virginity has been broken or anything like that. There was information that she said that she gave, which she then retracted. So the first case that they did was thrown out. The second case, they did not want to answer to. The jury was hung on it, and the judge did not want to release them until they came up with an answer, and then they came up with a guilty verdict. So from observing the case, if he was guilty of the crime, I would in no way support the brother. But from the evidence of the case, from the testimonies of him as well as the individuals involved, he was not guilty, even though he was found guilty.
Wow, so he was not guilty, even though he was found guilty, but you speak ill against someone else that is not guilty, but they say he was guilty. So I have a question. This brother that you support, does he have children?
Yes.
And if so, do you ever say to those children, you have a father that's a child molester?
No, I don't.
Well, why do you do that to others that have a love for Dr. Malachi Z. York
Now, the Chief of Wellness is asking what's the name of his homie that is a convicted child molester. I presume she meant. Well, I suggest you go back in the last few live streams, and I don't know his government name, but actually during the discussion between Tazayak and I asked him, okay, do you know that guy? You know, King Ta? And then he said the name maybe with a variation, you know, and he mentioned music, and people know that that actual guy came on my live stream. I mean, on the comment, because the title says, um, "Is this Hebrew Israelite in prison for rape?" So he came in the comment section, and you know what? I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna share the link so we get some clarity. So. I'm going to share the link in the chat. And we heard the person talked about Mighty Hebrew. He said they've been doing this for a long time. So here you have the link in the chat. All right. Let's have a look together. So you have Captain Tazayak behind this guy who loves to use the term stinking Africans. And you see the title is this Hebrew Israelite in prison for rape. And here you see the musical symbol. And you can click on his account and you will see that he's into music, just like the Zaryak said. And if you look at his face here, it looks the same as him. And what did he write? I'm right here, lol. What the F? Because the title, it says, is this Hebrew Israelite in prison for rape? And at the end of the discussion, we can hear the Zaryak say, oh, that guy is out. He's basically, they want to play the narrative. He's not in prison, so that's wrong. That's slander. Right? But you can go to prison, do the jail time, and then be out. And besides, we heard Tazariak say of his own mind, out of his own mouth, that a fellow ISUPK member was in jail. So if it's not him, it means that they have so many. And just that guy that he was talking about, there were 2 cases, and one allegedly was thrown out. So here, Shao Ross asked him, you see, that's 11 days ago. Maybe they're going to say it's old news now, even though it's less than a month ago. And that's the same day when this guy wrote, I'm right here, Lord. He wrote, are you the dude in the vid? Then I told him, greetings, King Ta. And I wrote Kanat. I didn't know it was spelled Kanat. The same Kanat who says that ISUPK teach that you can have sex with a girl as long as she has a flower. She can be 15 or 9. And let me play for the record. It's less than 30 seconds.
I'm gonna tell you why, because I'm an Israelite and Tazariak Israelite, and I think his doctrine is off compared to what we teach. We both had the same mission, but he's telling the Israelites it's okay to mix race. Right? He's telling that they got a doctrine saying that if a child reached a flower, they could be 15 or 9 years old. You can have sex with them.
Okay,
this is what they
man,
teach.
You talk about running.
And here as well, the conversation was moved to something else. When I was on the panel and I was about to address the situation with Hebrews were like that, I said, I don't want to talk. Oh, like, okay, I'm going to respect the panel. You know, but that same Kana who was kicking in, you know, I didn't mind too much him believing, and people from his crew believing that the earth is 6,000 years old because they are under the spell of that belief system, you know. But when you're going to go on a platform and say, okay, this is what they teach, and on that same platform, you're going to go and kick with those people and ask for a debate, I'm like, okay, that shows the guy's integrity. The guy's integrity level is -10. It's not even 0. So, Kanad just said today that ASUPK Hebrew Israelites teach that you can have sex with 9-year-old girls. And I gave the link. Is it true? Have you been to jail for rape or statutory rape? Do ASUPK members have sex or marry underage girls as long as they have their period? Then later on this video, we can hear a sister claiming that you went to jail for having sex with a minor. And I gave the link. Decentavo wrote, I take his silence as a yes. Lol. Goodfella Nella wrote, still no response. Brother, any man would defend himself with such allegations. Silence is also an answer. The sister's testimony is first-hand, enough for me to believe it's true. Now, I'm going to have to plug my headset so the battery doesn't die on me. And I will check that you can still hear me as well. Let me just plug it first. All right. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me, V. Bennett? Oh, Vinny is not in.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, thank
can
you.
hear you.
All right. So, sorry. Now, so he wrote, enough for me to believe it's true. Then Goodfellow Nella wrote, explain yourself, man. No man will stay silent if innocent with such allegations. Decentavo said a guilty man will stay silent no longer than an innocent would anyway. And Goodfellow Nella wrote, right, brother, an innocent man will prove his innocence till the day he dies. So you can all witness that there's no reply. First, he came on like, I'm here because the question is he in jail? You see how they are? How sneaky they are? Now, what is that? Who is that sister who said that this is how they get down? She is an author. And just listen for yourselves.
Now, one thing we do know, or you know, is that one of Tazariak's better friends or best friends or closest people who's part or was part of ISUPK at the time was incarcerated. This leader in the community, this member of the community, was incarcerated for child molestation, correct?
Yes, it's actually his best brother, the one he used to be with all the time. He calls him, that's his best friend, his best brother. Tajo Ayala is his name. And this brother is currently incarcerated. He's still a part of ISUPK. He's currently incarcerated for sleeping with his wife's daughter, who's a minor.
Interesting. And he's still an ISUPK member.
Yes. Talks to him. He often talks to him. He sends him money and things like that.
He's sending a convicted child molester money? Yes, ISUPK member that's incarcerated. He's currently still. He doesn't have the $10 for the wife. He doesn't have the $40 for you. The $10 for the other wife. Failing in his commitment as a man to his children, as far as child support is concerned. But he has the money to give to a convicted child molester. Is this what you're telling me?
Yes, and they all blame the little girl. They all say that she's a liar, and I can imagine what she's went through, but they're all saying that she's lying. But they've been holding this man for years, so
I mean, there's no love for Dr. Young. Certainly. I mean, I guess only if you choose to molesting one child, I guess they can. This is very interesting stuff. Very interesting. Now, it's up to you if you want to go any further about child molestation or pedophilia. Do you believe that somewhere in the undercurrent or any sentiment is inside of ISUPK that kind of gives you read by men, you kind of get a sense of that kind of energy in ISUPK.
Yes. When I first went to someone outside of ISUPK and I spoke with them, and they told me and informed me to be careful because his niece just got out of it, in which what they noticed that they were setting up is that a lot of them get, women, single mothers with teenage girls, so that when the teenage girls are ready, just as GMS, they explained it, that what the GMS does, that they believe the same thing, but they hide it. You don't find out until you get in there.
I'm going to ask you the question again. Some people said it was breaking up a little bit, so I'm going to ask you again. We're going to follow up from the fact that Tazariak still sends money to a present-day ISUPK member who is presently convicted for child molestation that is still accepted and embraced by the ISUPK community. Now, we fast forward. And what's that guy's name again? That's incarcerated for child molestation?
Taj Royala. Taj Royala.
Taj Royala?
Yeah, I can't pronounce it too.
No problem.
Taj Royala.
Yeah, no problem. Taj Royala. Okay, so Taj Royala is presently incarcerated for child molestation, and Tazariak still sends him money, and the ISUPK still has his membership instated.
So, Nutri for Wellness said first, I saw that conversation. This is Brother Baruti, by the way. Is it Kanat? That's Brother Baruti. Who's Brother Baruti? Are you positive it was King Ta? That's the homie? Well, I don't know those guys' names, but we've seen that I've made a video asking, is this Hebrew Israelite in prison for jail? And a Hebrew Israelite came and said, I'm here. And he's into music. And when I mentioned that to Tozaya said, it mentioned, oh yeah, good music. I mean, people can go and look it up. Why would he come and say, I'm here, if it wasn't the guy? And we heard Taj Royala. Now on the YouTube it says King Ta. Ta, T-H seems to be short for Taj Royala. I don't know how Taj Royala is spelled, but those guys have Hebrew names anyway, which is most likely not their legal name. But it's not hard to put the two and two together. Now, I've been talking against pedophilia and child molestation for years. And here it looks like we're scratching the surface, you know? So an effort was made, a group effort was made to make me look like someone who's into gossiping and slander. But it has backfired now. And even till this day, those guys are still welcome on that platform, even though they supposedly hate those guys and can't stand those guys and can't stand their doctrines. So we have to wonder, why are they still in cahoots? Could it be the money? Could it be the paper? No matter what the reason is, we know what's up.
Something else,
Yeah.
I mean, you can extort people by any weakness that they have. If they have I don't want to say what it is, but it doesn't matter what the weakness is. When you're dealing, you already see the potential in these individuals in terms of how they deal with each other. No ethics, zero, right? A bunch of confusion. You have Sarnetta, who plays on people's sympathy and empathy. It's good to have sympathy and empathy. That makes you a healthy person. But when you have another individual that plays on it, for example.
Hold on, brother. I don't know if maybe it's where you are, but the quality is not great right now. The sound quality. Oh, no, I don't hear you anymore. I don't know if you can hear me, but there's no sound coming out at all. There's no sound. Feel free to type in the chat.
Yeah.
Now
What
we hear
about
you.
now?
Now we hear you. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes. Feel free.
When you have a person that plays on your empathy and sympathy, like for example, we have this story about how all these people did him wrong. How everybody did him wrong, right? But then when you listen to that tape, he's doing somebody else wrong. And it's the same person that they set up the debate for you for, or the weigh-in. They're both doing each other wrong. Look, you can't have it both ways. You can't do what you say you don't like others doing to you. You can't. So you either reject it, the behavior outright, or you do what it looks like is going on. Accept that that's normal way of dealing with people. And then you create a cesspool where everybody's screwing each other over, where no one cares what the outcome is, who gets hurt or anything. Now, so going back to your question, if you have any weakness, and you're a dastardly person, then of course criminals will extort you. It's just that simple. If you, it doesn't matter what the weakness is. It's very clear that for some reason Netter cannot break away. He cannot, and we have to just start saying he cannot. That's what we have to say until we have evidence of something different. You see, that's all it is. In this, I don't like to say the street. I would like to say rational thinking people, including people in the street. You do dastardly behavior to somebody, in some places, one time is enough. And they're not even going to come back warning you. Just one robbery, one trickery, one lie. You see, well, here we have a whole situation where there's a bunch of people that they want you to go on with the lies and the trickery 100 times. It's like, it's abuse. They're in an abusive, toxic circle with themselves, and they don't see it. They think it's normal, brother, and they think it's normal to treat other people that way. That's just what you're going to get out of it. So, I mean, that's my view of it. If you want to deal with those people, what you're going to get: abuse, heartbreak, broke, robbed. That's what you're going to get because they do it to each other. You know, it's if you listen to Born OG, Born, he said yesterday, he said it's good that we have
One
platforms.
FOG, brother. But keep
Yeah,
going.
FOG. I'm sorry. He said it's good that we have different platforms. Yes, it is because that's how we keep each other honest, right? Also, it's how we stay strong. If one fails, then all don't fail. And what we have here, a situation with Sinetta, is more like cult type of behavior. You get minions that are following you, and it's not based on facts. It's not based on being able to build something, an institution for the community, right? So what happens is that we put all of our Pan-Africanism, all of our Ma'at in him, and if he fails, so do everyone else. That's not a good situation there. One of the reasons why you want to have a voice, an injection from different parts of the world, is because we see things that you won't see if your head is stuck in the barrel up close. And that's their problem. What we're supposed to do is say, aha, our heads are not stuck in the barrel. We seeing this way back and we see clearly what's going on because we can see the whole panorama. We're supposed to inject help, right? That's what we're supposed to do, inject help into a body that's dying, you know? Now, if you're a crook and you want everything to yourself, you don't want the help. If you got a scam going on, you don't want the help. You see, your help is messing up the scam, but it shouldn't be a scam in the first place.
And here, just for the record, Nurture for Wellness World, yeah, Ta does sound like a shortened name for the long Hebrew name the lady mentioned. But I'm sure in New York and around New York, a lot of people know clearly not only the three people that were mentioned, the three of them happen to be Hebrew Israelite, but we got many other people, for strangers, and they will make fun of people for being non-Abrahamic, um, or for being against child molesters, labeling them, gossipers. But the people who mess with babies, they don't have any smoke. Now you see, um, the person who has a large conscious community platform, told me you are a bitch ass N word. Did he tell that to Wack? Wack 100? Did you tell that to Wack 100?
No, he was busy begging Whack 100. Even though Whack 100 told him straight up, I see you're a snake, then laughed at them. You see how these dudes do us? And when Whack said that, he meant all y'all. He meant all, he didn't mean us, of course, because we ain't going for it. But he meant them, that circle, those people. He meant y'all Bammers. He meant you all are kooky. You all are pathetic. You're clowns. That's what Whack meant, because anybody could see that if you're doing each other like this, you won't survive nothing. You won't survive any attack from anyone. No one should ever think you have any defense or any plan. You have zero. That's what they made very clear. Now, why would a person with a plan invite a cesspool into their party? You know?
Hold on, V. Bennett. Hold on. Ching Ching is coming. Ching Ching is coming. Ching Ching is coming.
Run. Run for your life. It's Friday the 13th. Jason Voorhees in the house.
Oh my goodness, man. There has to be more to it, man. I never seen one person get under his skin. So man, he been claiming he's of tough, he has tough skin. What's up, Ching Ching?
Here comes the champ. Here comes the champ.
Hey, peace to Doctor, peace to Bennett, man. I love y'all, man. Hey, man, I'm glad y'all saying it and standing on what y'all standing. That's all I ask people to do. We don't need a lot of people over here being phony. If that's what they want, let them go over there. Like the brother said it, he couldn't have put it no better. That's the people over there. They used to being abused. They used to being taken advantage of. They want something that they ain't gonna never get nothing out of. He ain't speaking for no unity. He ain't speaking and it's a shame. It baffled me that Wack 100 is a Piru gangster. Now, I don't deal with gangs. I don't like gangs, but the message he was saying, I'm like, hold up. It sounds like he the conscious community, and these guys are the crooks. Wack 100 was telling them that y'all ain't building nothing. Y'all ain't doing nothing. He told Sonetta to his face, use a snake, use a sucker. But what did Sonetta want to interview? And I'm glad Wack stood on his square. He told him, I'm not coming on there until you stand on your square. So the other day when he put my number out on a public platform and said that he want information on me, give me anything dirt about this guy, like, what are you doing all that for if it's nothing to worry about? Why? Then you got all these people calling my phone. He called me 20 times when he was online. I didn't answer. I picked up and I told him some crazy shit, cussed him out. He hung up. What he trying to do, see, Sonetta, let me tell you something about me, brother. If you want to do some research, my uncle and them is Peanut King from Baltimore City. They millionaires. I've been taught by the best, bro. It's nothing that you got that I haven't seen. I've been saying Bentley since I was 11 years old. Like, brother, you don't know who you dealing with. That's the main thing about it. And you don't know the number that I gave you is what we call in Baltimore, they burnout numbers. Only $50 a month for unlimited data, everything. They in somebody else's name. Like you guys, because I know the games you guys play. When I put my number in the back chat, I knew what you guys was going to do. I knew how the games you play. But guess what? Like Wax said, I was 2 steps ahead of you. I'm not dumb, bro. And these little simple games you playing with people, it's coming home to you now. It don't feel good when it's coming back to you. It feel good when you throwing that 100-mile-per-hour fastball down there and can't nobody hit it. But soon somebody get contact of it like a Barry Bonds, knock it out the park, got it going in the water with people swimming for the balls. You can't handle it. Like, come on, bro. And you mad at Shaka because Shaka a good dude. At first he thought, what they came over here and said, Chris, oh, Shaka, get that guy off here. He a troll. They try to protect Sonetta. Shaka, that dude be going to other people's platforms, not telling you. I was going to other people's platforms fighting for the same shit I said now, the child molestation and the scamming shit. I wasn't going on no platforms trolling nobody. I was talking about what you do.
I'm going to let you speak, but I want to say, in my book, Chris MVP Harvey is a good brother. I think there was a misunderstanding somewhere down the line, but keep going, brother.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, cause that's your homeboy. You ain't got nothing to do with this. It's just like how they try to put up a wall and try to protect some Netta and act like somebody a troll. How somebody a troll when I got public information off the internet of you guys saying shit out your own mouth? It's not me saying it. Not nobody else saying it. It's not a third party. It's you saying it out your own mouth. Like when you get mad at them guys, you don't like them guys. Like Whack 100 said, it's more info on Clubhouse that son Netta keep coming over there trying to go at Whack and get an interview. Whack 100 expose him. He ain't go at Whack. He ain't say call Whack no punk, no whore. Cause you know why? He threatened by Whack. So he try to belittle people that he get under him. That's all he get on his show. He interviewed people that's beneath him and he got dirt on. Why you think he keep those guys around him? Because he got dirt on them guys. And he know they will not go against him for the views of Son Netta TV because he got dirt on them, even if they go against the grain. Like Young Fervo, that young kid didn't do nothing. He wanted to be on Son Netta thing. He talking about Reggie made up the contract. It's your show. Why you got somebody else making up a contract for Young Fervo and Seti when Seti been doing business with you for years? No, you tried to run a play on them boys and they seen it. Like, come on, man, you is a snake. And nobody don't want to see it, but I see it. I see it from a mile away because guess what? When I get off work or do my job, I watch YouTube and I watch all the wrong shit y'all niggas do and I put it together and search all the pieces and I go back to old videos. That's what you gotta do, Shaka and Bennett. Watch all the old videos. That's where the story's at. Go back when it was first kicking off. You're gonna see all the games being played. It's amazing. That's why I was telling y'all that whole 125th Street, it was a fraud. It was like 3-card Molly. They was playing tricks with y'all. They mixing Kemet with all this trickery and all this other information that they learned, like from Dr. York, mixing up. They want to be a cult leader. Like Bennett said, it's cult life.
Yeah, because the people.
Oh yeah, go ahead, you Bennett. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say because look at the minions. The minions respond to these people like you would in a cult. They don't ask real questions. They don't follow. If you give them the evidence and throw it in their face, they like screw the evidence. We with this one. That's what a cult is. You can show them all the evidence in the world, but they pick the leader for some feel-good reason. You know, it's not rational.
Yeah, it's not rational. It's the whole game because you see what because Captain now why just pay attention. Look how many people Captain Tazaryak trying to debate now. When he was over there with Whack 100 for them couple months, you couldn't get no debate out him on no Son Netta TV. He can now he is willing to give Black Jesus Minister debate who he said he would never, who he hate. Now he want to give Chris a debate. Why? Because the automotive that they had for Whack 100, like Whack said, they wanted to get in the music industry. See, I'm Whack a smart person because he put up that bell or that wall, what you pose to do when you meeting somebody new. You pose to test them. You like my uncle used to do me. When he walk in the room, have a whole bunch of money, he'll walk out the room, he'll drop $200 bills just to test your loyalty and see if you're going to give it back. And I always used to be like, Unc, you dropped $200. And he like, dang, I did that to your other cousin and he kept it. I said, wow. And these guys don't know the games we've been taught before this conscious. We was conscious before we even was conscious with the info, brother. We was conscious with life situations, just not no information. That's why I don't got no problem with people with the information. Do both so you can be protected out here. Because somebody will take advantage of you easily. And the women, they is over there getting taken. You see the women only want to be getting wrenches. They be the supporters. You feel me? It was a test for women. Why you think all them dudes got 4 wives, 5 wives, like when Polite started off? Then Son Netta got 4 wives. Then they all got this doctrine, a whole bunch of wives because they using the women. They using the women for their funds and doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Garfield, he got catfish. The woman exposed him. Like, come on, man. These dudes is wicked. I'm talking about really wicked, not just saying it, not playing. That's why son that hurt that I came out on Shaka channel and he like this ching, like I told y'all what to do. Well, he from Baltimore. Come down here with your camera. We can turn the camera on. Let's see who real. And let's put it on the line for the people. And I bet you won't walk out of here being real. We're gonna show that you fake. Like Tahaka Bay, I was telling people. Tahaka Bay not from Baltimore, he from Annapolis. But he say Baltimore because people scared of like that Baltimore, which he found out. Ain't nobody scared of no words. Like nigga just slapped your whole face off.
There's one thing you said, Ching Ching. You talked about Garfield being catfish. Now, people might say it's gossip, but it was stated publicly. What I heard is that he pretended to be with a lady. So it's different when you, from what I understand, when you're being catfish, it's like somebody's presenting himself or herself as somebody that the person is not. You see, but I heard he was pretending that he was actually thank you Miriam for that cash app. And actually Terrence, I saw you sent me a number. I remember now, I forgot, but I'm going to try the number and call you after this live stream because the 13-digit number didn't work. There's another thing you said, what was it again? Oh, it escapes me. You might come back to me. Just go ahead, Bennett. I think you wanted to say. Hopefully, it will come back to me.
Oh, right. I mean, Wack got into them. He spit it out there like it's universally understood by rational thinking people. And by the way, the streets in the streets, I'm not from the street, but I'm from a neighborhood. That's, you got to walk on the street. You got to walk in your neighborhood. But I got a family, so I never say I'm from the streets. Plus, a lot of this stuff that goes on out there in our communities, it has nothing to do with in the streets. It's reality. It's life. It's the world. So but the way Wack put it out there is simple. Everybody in the streets that was in the streets should be able to understand it, and that is you don't get too many chances to lie, to steal. You don't get all those games to manipulate in the streets. That equals your life. You putting your life on the line. And in some places like Baltimore, that's one time. I was going to say, yo, Ching Ching.
Yeah, you're right.
It's funny he did that interview with Tariq to bring up the situation about Tahaka Bay. But I knew right then and there, I was like, wait a second, Ching Ching is from Baltimore, but he ain't the same as Tahaka Bay. You just know instantly. If you know anything about Baltimore dudes, wait a second, these are two totally different people.
Hey Bennett, I went at it with Tahak. I tried to talk to him. He was on the phone. I said, Tahak, why you on here looking like that? You a clown, bro. You from the Annapolis. He was on here saying he used Baltimore. Then he was saying he built all this stuff down here. Like, you're not doing none of that. So I told him, stop being a fraud, be yourself. So he hung the phone up on me. I know a grand sheet of one of them Moore Signs building. That's my homeboy. So he was like, man, that nigga Tahak is a clown, man. He is cruddy. He trying to scam the people too. So look what happened to him. He kept saying that, he grew up in Annapolis and came to Baltimore. Like this dude ain't really from Baltimore, man. And he get on here doing all this old flabber busting and all this old clown stuff. That's why I said he got everything he got. See, Son Netta got to play a game now. I'm going to show you his game. He did that Tariq interview to try to line it up like, yeah, them trolls out here, and plus another one from Baltimore, he's saying this and that. They hating on us. They don't like what we do. Why is the truth gotta be hating? You feel me? Like, bro, you don't got nothing nobody want, nigga. I got money, I got cars, I got everything for my life. I'm not competing with nobody. You ain't doing nothing. Like, I come from saying with real like DC. You said DC and nothing, man. We had two of the biggest players from Baltimore and DC. Rafer Emerson up here, Melvin Williams. Like, come on, bro. Like, we've been raised under real dudes and from our towns. We ain't been raised by no fake stuff, no flabber busting stuff. Like, these dudes is weird to me, bro. I'm like, I said, yo, they going with the play so hard on Shaka. I knew they was going to set Shaka up on the thing because he had me on the panel when Shaka did that because Captain Kazariak. That's why if you go back and peep it, why you think they busting out laughing? Ha 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 ha. Them laughs wasn't even real if you really look at him. He trying to play it off so Sonetta can go along with him. It's like how we used to do round the way. It's, man, I'm saying, when you setting somebody up, you be like, yo, when I laugh, you laugh. Yeah, that's when we going, yeah, that's you know what I mean? That's the play. Like, people got to catch on to this stuff, man. That's like when the girl was up there and she was like, how do Whack 100 know that Captain Tazariak told Whack 100 that Sonetta burnt him on a debate? So the woman had a good question. She's like, how do Whack 100 know that? He ain't going to make it up. You feel me? It ain't Whack just going to come out the blue because Captain Tazariak told him. And when Sonetta was getting blasted in Clubhouse, he said Tazariak was texting him, yeah, keep it going. That's what he get. I told him. They setting each other up, man. They setting each other up, man. Hey, I don't want to keep coming on here saying the same thing over and over because I know people, they over there, that. But so what? It's content. It's YouTube. They would do the same thing if it wasn't, if Shaka, they just mad because Shaka caught on. He like, hold up, this guy making some sense. I might not know what he talking about right now, but some of this stuff this guy I'm saying, Bennett was been on it. He just was like, hold up. He had it. He just like, hold up, I gotta still get some of that benefit of doubt, which I respect. But now he like, hold up, this nigga this is crazy. And that's what everybody gonna think. But saw that a few people he got over there. I'm telling you, him and Garfield, they was buying views. They was buying views. When you see Sonetta number jump, that ain't really all them people in that chat, bro. He buy views. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it might be a good 1,500, this and that and there, but the rest of them, he be shooting out this text. They can buy and shoot out, and it's going to jump your numbers up. So people might come across your video like, oh shucks, it's 1,500. Let me just watch this. You feel me? It's a marketing mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what him and Garfield was doing. Remember when Garfield first said, go ahead. Remember Garfield first said he was coming out with a podcast. He changed the word. He was like, I'm coming with a podcast. So he started upping his numbers with that blast stuff, upping it. But he wasn't working because nobody don't want to hear nothing he say. He just went back down, and all of a sudden your numbers went all the way back down to there. No, bro, because you was buying them numbers, and then you knew it ain't work, so you just, that's why he stayed off YouTube for a minute. Man, I'm on to these dudes, man. They frauds, man.
You know what? They even got these bots where, you can give them the sentences for the people in the chat to write. They even got them. Straight up.
Yeah, you're right.
It's crazy, and they can time the bots. If you're a regular customer, they can time it for this day, this time of day. If you got your show at a certain time, they doing that, but people ain't on to it. And we shouldn't give away all the things that we know to look out for, though. We will keep it like this for a minute. But these guys, they jokers. And the other thing I was going to say is, if you're a decent person and you got some integrity, you ain't going to let none of these people play you. You ain't going to let them take $1 from you. Don't be scared of them. Don't believe nothing that they say, because just like Bax said, they actually are the weak link. They the weak links. They need you. They need to manipulate you to make their thing work. Without you falling for their stuff, they don't have nothing.
And
Exactly.
I remember what I wanted to say is that maybe already, Ching, but the live stream he made about you, it is now private now. So he must have realized it's a bad look to give somebody his phone number and tell people look him up when you have convicted child molesters on your panel. You know what I'm saying? One at least, and another one who he's a supporter of a convicted child molester. And the other thing I wanted to say is that to Akabe, I've shared the link here in the chat. The video, you see, I'm not focused on the Hebrews, It was Tariq Nasheed who showed that there was some paperwork, and when you have the sex offender part, there's a Y, and Y stands for yes.
Yep.
Now to Akabe, came up with an explanation that just didn't make any sense at all. That's why I made this video, sex offenders, how it was. So Huckabee said, well, what happens is that, my case was an assault, blah, 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 blah. I mean, he just spoke and didn't make sense at all. And he's like, that's what they do. So I made a live stream. I said, look, I'm not from America. Is that how they do it? Like, when you have an altercation with somebody, a
Yeah.
physical altercation, then all of a sudden you're gonna have a line that says sex offender. Why?
I told you that, Shaka. It's for the clout. You gotta figure, Shaka. These dudes, when they was younger, they was getting high, sniffing drugs, doing drugs. Now they do what they want, but they ain't had no life then. So now they mastered this conscious stuff with the YouTube. So they getting a couple of dollars and some notoriety. They don't know how to take it. They don't know how to act with it. You can tell a person that never had nothing. Cause look how Son Netta act. He always trying to prove a point instead of doing what he doing. He can do what he want. But my thing is with him, he tried to call me, come on my platform. As soon as I got off your channel, come on my platform, brother. You funny, brother. I got 2,000 people in here. I hung straight up on him. Who you think you take me for, bro? I would never in my life be on your platform, bro. I would never in my life answer a call for you because you record people phone calls and then you like to edit them out and make people say something that they don't say. So the best thing, like Wack 100 said, just stay away from you, bro. You can go snake somebody else. You've been snaking too many people as it is. How can Polite scam you from the beginning with all that stuff you say he took from women, children, and baby? Then you still brought him back and then denied it and say, oh no, he ain't scamming nobody. Y'all lying. Y'all did this. Y'all hating. Why do hate gotta be always for the word for the truth? Because they switching it up. They trying to make people think, oh, since we got this, we did this. Son Netta built the community. Son Netta ain't built nothing. He started off selling bootleg DVDs off of people information. That people was calling him and telling him stop using their information because they ain't getting nothing off of it. That's how he started off. And he started off using pictures of people being hung in the back of him, and the police used to make him take it down because that stuff don't look right. You up here selling with a bullhorn. You up here selling people out for real. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's maniac shit, man. Like, he know what he doing. He getting people roused up, getting them feelings, and they black power, black people, black this. No, man, it ain't all about that. People is people. Everybody, good or bad. We getting rid of the bad. Watching 2023, all these dudes gonna start to fall. You see Garfield numbers dwindling. Unc and them, they can't get a crowd over there. Son Netta only got back on because he kept using a couple people. He used a bunch of idiots he can talk to any kind of way, kick them off his panel, tell them this, tell them that. Nah, ain't nobody going for that no more, bro. Like you trying to attack Shaka because Shaka over here saying what he's saying, and you mad at Shaka telling him he gossiping, but you got Tariq Nasheed and Tahaka on your page so you can gossip, but can't nobody else gossip. That don't make no sense.
And the thing is that, Shaka ain't doing it for the money. That's the thing. And these guys, they miss that. They really miss that. He's not doing it for the money. And I think that's a lesson for a lot of people, man.
Yeah, if you better let me interject because I heard, I've been listening for years, and some people might use that to twist it and say, well, you see, they're jealous, they're hating, we're supposed to get money. When they see black people getting money, then they have a problem with it. There's nothing wrong with getting money. The thing is integrity. That's all,
Exactly.
Because when I heard that,
you're wrong. You don't know. Everybody on my circuit, they against the Israelites. We hate the Israelites. We can't stand their doctrine.
Who's the people who've been on the platform for the last maybe couple of years the most? And so good to greet by saying peace and black power, but then somebody on that same platform gonna say that they celebrate the death of black people, celebrate the death of Africans, and that's cool. I mean, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? And but now I'm a BA N-word, That's what I am now. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, man.
He called you a name, Shaka?
Yeah, it's yeah. Like,
he texted you to your phone?
Yeah, on WhatsApp, like you see what happened. Um, the last live stream, he first said, I'll be flagging you playing my video. Then he put another message like, N word, I don't care what you say about me. Then he wrote, watch my people won't F with you. Then he wrote that was during the live stream. After the live stream, like 5 minutes after, then I received, you are a bitch ass ninja. I see, of course, see, I don't like using the N word. And then he said, he just basically said again that nobody that mess with him is gonna mess with me. I'm not. It is what it is. But it's interesting. Like I was telling V Bennett earlier, and the whole audience. It's funny when he says nobody that mess with me is gonna mess with you. So it's like the people that's with him. If he says, okay, you don't mess with that guy, then they all don't mess with that guy. I'm like, man, do they
Yeah.
get paid or are they
You know
just?
what it is?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because if you have a follower's mentality, you will go for those kind of words. You will follow. You will say, "Yeah, I ain't gonna mess with Shaka." But here's the thing, a lot of people control people that way. They go behind your back, say things that this, and this. They do all these things, and when you don't confront people directly yourself as a man, right? When you can't do it as a man, you do it that way, that trickery way. Only suckers are going to just blindly follow what Sonetta say. Only a sucker will, because you ain't being a man or a woman standing up for yourself, thinking for yourself, and acting for yourself. At the end of the day, what do you have to lose and what do you have to gain from following? Nothing, you know? Um, we're not supposed to be cult leaders. We're not supposed to want people to follow us. Everybody got to go to work every day, pay their own bills. Everybody got to live with their own mistakes. Everybody got to live with their own wins. You deserve it when you do something good and you benefit the community and yourself. But you don't have to follow nobody. It shouldn't be about an individual. It should always be about the cause. And individuals are imperfect. You can't follow individuals. You got to follow just the goodness. When there's goodness, that's what you go with and you accept the goodness. But the moment you see the bad, you got to chop it off. Got to cut it off before it infects you. So I would never want nobody to follow me. You could learn from me, ask questions to me, but don't follow me because I will never follow you. I follow myself.
Exactly. He trying to scare somebody. Like, son, nobody ain't scared of you. Nobody ain't scared of your little fake tactics you use and none of your little weirdos. You trying to scare somebody. Shaka standing on where he's standing on. You text that man. Won't you call him and tell him that? Won't
Hey,
you
look,
call him and say something like that?
Well,
it's
I
it's
like.
something. It's
I'm
something they
sorry.
got called. It's something
Yeah,
they
go
got.
ahead.
Ching Ching and Shaka. It's something they got in the Nordic countries called the Yenta law, and it's spelled like Jante, like Jante, and then law. And it's the same type of group mentality, where they try to put pressure on individuals to be followers. And you should read all 10 of those things. Now, it's so ironic. That's like this cult type of thing. They try to make you feel like if you don't do what the leader says, or if you don't do what everybody else goes along with, then the whole group gonna punish you. It has nothing to do with being right, good ethics, or anything. It's all about fitting into the group. Now, what type of person wants to fit into a group with no purpose?
Exactly. He did the same thing to Hassan Campbell when Hassan came out with Africa Bambaataa story. Sonetta, he turned the wheels on him because they was pressuring him on calling Sonetta, threatening him probably. That's why Hassan Campbell said Sonetta tried to set him up, put him together. Now, which I really believe it because Hassan came out on his platform. They tried to push it, and he ain't want to push it no more because he knew what was he knew what gonna come with that because he right there in New York, the Zulu Nation. That's why Layla Wills, she got a documentary on YouTube. The first gay hip hop group of New York is Zulu Nation. How bad and how Africa Bambaataa was molesting all them, allegedly molesting all them Puerto Rican little boys up in Bronx River. And it's a whole rack of names she got on there. She got people interviewing her and talking about it too. So It's crazy what was going on in New York in the 90s. That's where all the false information come from, all the trickery, all the weirdness, scamming, and the fraud. And that's what New York is known for. New York is known for the scams and the frauds, the quick flip, the quick touch, the quick hustle, the quick everything. That's how New Yorkers get down. So they took that with the info. So another was setting up the debates, acting like they mad and beefing, but they whole time they setting it up behind the scenes, making money and scamming the people. That man Polite went up on a cargo minium, acting like he buying cargo miniums. He scanked all them peoples for that up in Ohio. Son, that ain't say nothing about that. Act like he got beat up by the police. That was a whole fraud with him and Malik Zulu Shabazz. They down there making fake interviews and stuff up. Got people supporting that. Like, come on, man. Son, that was mad because Polite left him here and went to LA and lived a rich life, and he left him in them buildings, in them rat infested buildings in New York. If Garfield had so much of credit repair, why he ain't put all y'all in houses? Why y'all still living in buildings? Now you gotta pay mine and stuff, man. These dudes, what they was playing from the jump. It was about a cash grab.
And you said something very basic. He sent me some messages. He could have called me. He could have called me. The last time you two went at it, and I put you two out of the panel because you was chaotic. I called him. I said, man, I don't want you to think that I'm censoring. He's like, yeah, no, no worry, we're good. And then he seek revenge and try to humiliate me, because he took issues of what you said. And in one of his messages, I don't want to read the whole thing. It's not that long, but the latest message we started by "You are a bitch ass N-word." He basically said that some people try to bring him down before, and it didn't work. So I know some people are in his ears. I know that Reggie has been in his ear. I know that Uncle has been in his ear, and surely the Hebrews will like and Trackfield. But that's not my intention to have your channel down, not at all. And we can never go back. So whatever dirt, whatever lies that may have been told, it was what it was. But the thing is that, at least if from today, try to keep it 100 with people. Try not to defend, people who have so much dirt on them, not just with scamming, but even with issues of child molestation. And then you'll be all right. You ain't gonna have to scheme and talk to people on the phone and send text messages and try to make other people look bad and stuff like that, because it can work with some people, but with me, it just doesn't work, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not invisible. I'm not invincible, but I'm comfortable in my shoes because I really don't have dirt, you know? So, um, like I said, he told Reggie, yeah, you committed treason against Kemet, but what did you do? Some people that you supposedly hate, he said that out of his own mouth, but then he's going to cap for them, all because he didn't like what somebody said. That's like Reggie, how he went at Jabari. Just because he didn't like what Jabari said, like, your methodology is poor. And then for 2 years, going to bang on him and bang on other dude. And then I see they try to humiliate me. And then they're going at, people who come on my platform who are supporters of my platform. I mean, so that's not my goal at all. It's not my goal. I don't know what they're trying to put in your mind, but some people around you, they don't necessarily want your good. They are using you. You know what I'm saying? They are using you because of the platform, but me, I've never been like that. I've never been like that. If you remove the 2 videos where I was a guest, it's not going to affect my life. You know what I'm saying? Because for truth be told, and I've been saying that the people who've been listening to me for a long time, they know I've been talking about this rapists and pedophiles, and that's why I've been talking about Pan-Africans for so long. And many people have been telling me, no, those guys are not Pan-Africans. Well, I've been asking, which Pan-African organization say Hebrews will are not part of Pan-African organization? Which one say that the nation of Islam will not be accepted? Because they like to say, oh, the NOI, they're not Pan-Africans. But have you ever seen a Pan-African organization say, well, any black Muslim or nation of Islam member cannot join our Pan-African organization? This is a fantasy that people have. You know what I'm saying? But it's not exclusive to America. French, when I say French Pan Africans, I mean French speaking Pan Africans also have been defending rapists and pedophiles. And like I said, for a long time, Molefe Asante's organization gave a trophy to a serial rapist who is the leader of a Pan African organization. And I played another Pan African who has a large YouTube platform, but he's a French speaker. But I played the video where he spoke in defense of that serial rapist. He said, well, if like the people say he raped or something like that, we don't care. He literally said we don't care. And the way he said care is difficult to translate in English, but you could even translate it as, we don't give a F, a Pan-African who's dealing with Kemet too, I mean, I never heard speaking any Mennonite word except for Hotep, but that's besides the point. He is a Pan-African with a large YouTube platform, and in the French-speaking world, and he's live on here, basically making excuses for somebody who raped. And ever since, I could never be cool with that guy. I have the video up, the excerpt when he's talking in defense of the guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not exclusive to America. That happens in many places. It happens in Africa. If people don't know, South Africa has like the rape over there is just crazy. It's bananas. These things happen. So I don't mind the monkey moderators, but at least if we can have this conversation and warn young girls when you have those grown men coming to you, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get in trouble. Those grown men gonna get in trouble. Beware, single mothers, beware. That's what they believe because they get that out of the scriptures, which are thousands of years old, but nobody's going to say it's old news. And that's just how they get down. Some of them teach that. So single mothers, beware, because we have so many cases. It was single mothers who were targeted. Their daughters were targeted. You know what I'm saying? Let's make the world a better place. Without the less child molesters we will have, the better the world will be. It's very important. But we have Jay Harold. Feel free to speak, brother.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, brother. Loud and clear. Feel free, brother.
Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, the reason why I had jumped on, I was gonna come on earlier, but I heard you was talking about Mighty Hebrew. So I did I did some research, right? Because he told me last week back here when he was on the platform that he went on Sinetta's channel to basically, I guess, defend the allegations that was out against him. So he came on there and there's another young lady, and basically he was showing the paperwork of the court cases and different things like that. And so I watched the screen, right? And so I was looking, and he focused on the fact that because initially I guess they were saying that he was child molesting, right? So he was focusing on the fact that the girl was underage, and he said that he was 17 and she was 15 at the time, right? But towards the end of the video, the lady, I guess she's supposed to be like somebody that was on his legal team. She gave out like the docket number for the case and everything, and so I went and looked it up, right? And he was actually convicted of rape, statutory rape, I think aggravated indecent assault. There's like 5 or 6 different charges just based on all of that. And I don't know, like, it's crazy, man, because when I questioned him about that on the show, he didn't say that part. He said that basically the girl recanted her statement, and he was acting like it had been thrown out. But like, you can go on there and look it up, and that's why I came on the show. Like, because if you don't mind, I can show it.
Oh, I don't mind. If it's public, I don't mind. I deal with public stuff mainly,
So I don't it's not personal?
No, it's not personal. This is coming from Pennsylvania.
I'm joking.
Oh, I got. Yeah, this is coming. You know how you can go online and look up the cases. because
I don't
at
mind,
first I didn't know
but
his name.
make sure we don't see his address though. You know.
Well, this is not his address. This is because he's not
Yeah.
even in the country. You know what I mean? This is old
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
from like
Okay, yeah, go,
Auburn.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead. You know, I don't mind. You know, it's public. You know,
Okay.
so
All
yeah.
right. Hold on. Let me share my
But you
screen.
see, I remember when he told us about him, you know, defending himself, saying she was 17, and I'm sorry, she was 15 and he was 17. But I was like, you know, I don't see people putting a 17-year-old guy in jail because he had a relationship with a girl that's 2 year younger. He probably talk about this because this is something that happened, but they're good at deflecting. You know what I'm saying? And of course, she recanted every time the girls recanted. That's what those guys are saying. You know. But then what you
Yeah.
said, you know, we heard about rape. Now, rape and statutory rape is not the same thing. Statutory rape, it means like you
Mm-hmm.
have sex with a girl that is below the legal age, so automatically, even if she was willing, it is statutory rape. But when it's just rape, period, it means the girl didn't want to have the sexual intercourse or sexual
Exactly.
activity. So I
Yep.
mean, you know, man, it's just I mean this conscious community, and it is not um uh anybody's fault but the person who did that. But when you know the person did that, it's strange that the person, you know, don't get any smoke. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Mm-hmm.
strange. And when we see all this energy, like making a live stream about a brother putting his phone number out and telling people can look him up, you know.
Yeah,
Now
I didn't
Reggie,
agree with that.
yeah, Reggie did a live stream about me, and I'm like, you know, Reggie's never speaking about child molesters. He almost started defending one. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, but they can do what they want. They can do what
Yeah,
they
like
want.
he
You
don't
know,
want to talk about it.
yeah, but you know, not only that, but it's just sad. But you know, they're gonna do what they do. But um, they have some moderators, and some of them who are into OnlyFans happen to be moderator on most of the conscious community channel. So just
Yeah, she's
one of them,
everywhere, man.
yeah. So just one of them, she's basically she can regulate damn near regulate the whole narrative because she can block whoever she wants. You know what I'm saying? So they've tried to paint that narrative. Like if you talk about these guys, these child molesters, you are a hater, you are gossiping, you
Mm-hmm.
are talking about old stuff, old news. You know what I'm saying? But it's
Right.
only so long fake ones can pretend that that's not gonna last forever. Now it's not working anymore. It's not working anymore. You know what I'm saying? So now people can see through the madness and continue. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can do what they want to do, but at some point, you know, if you know that's how some people get down, you know, yeah, ain't gonna hurt you to separate yourself from them. You don't even have to blast them. You don't have to go to war with them because
Mm-hmm.
he's quick to go to war with so many people over lesser stuff. But people who mess with babies, children, underage people, is not going to war with them. But he can, you know, take his distance. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, just go ahead. Feel free to share it, brother.
Do you see? Is it sharing?
Oh, no, I don't see. You know how to share, do you?
Yeah, I actually I hit present. Hold on a second.
Mm.
It should be sharing.
Mm. Um. Oh,
It says
maybe it's my fault.
StreamYard sharing the
It's my
window.
fault. My fault. Yeah, there it is. There it
Okay.
is.
Okay. So you see it up here. Now that was he has changed his name since then, but you see he got all these different names right here, right? But that was the name that he was arrested and convicted under this name right here, Landine Strange. And I know that because of whenever he did the presentation on Sinetta and the person from his legal team was speaking, they showed some of these same documents, right? And so here's the charges right here, down at the bottom, and see you got rape, guilty; involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, guilty; aggravated indecent assault, guilty; statutory rape, guilty; indecent assault, guilty; corrupting a minor, guilty.
So
That's that.
there's no rape period. We only have the statutory rape.
No, it is. See, this is the
Oh
rape
my,
right here.
oh my bad. I missed it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You have rape and you have statutory
yeah,
rape. So
yeah,
see,
indeed.
right. So he was when he was on that show on Signetter, he was trying to defend the fact that she wasn't underage, and so Garfield called in and he was questioning them about that. But the lady that was supposed to be a part of his legal team, she seemed to be like, I think she was just like a Hebrew person, somebody he know, because she was very defensive of him. She wasn't speaking like a lawyer or something like that, because you can tell, you know what I mean. But she was asking him, was he convicted of rape? Because and they were trying to say that statutory rape and rape, that was all under the same thing. And I'm like, no, they're not the same thing. I even went and looked up the codes, the statutes. I went up on there and read it. They're not the same thing. Of course, we know that anyway. I mean, statutory rape that's underage. You having sex with a minor, right? But then you have rape where you forcing somebody to have sex.
Yep.
I wonder what Garfield is not, talking about this ISUPK dude who was convicted and who was still supported by Tazariak, and
Mhm.
most likely by ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. It is what it
Now
is.
you can
I mean,
see another thing I wanted to
I
mention.
have to give it to Garfield. He
Mhm.
spoke about this guy here and the Nazi dude as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But go
right.
ahead, keep going, Jehu. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, so I wanted to point out the other thing. Let me see, because they got his age. So you see his date of birth. He was born in '76, and they were only 2 years apart, right? But that still don't mean that he didn't rape her. So I think like the statutory rape thing, I don't know how that case went. I don't see how he got statutory rape for that. But anyway, that was what they decided, right? So here, corrupting the minor. That's where here's where they show her date of birth. She was born in '78, so they were 2 years apart, right? But he still was convicted of rape and all of this other stuff. And he did, because he gave two different answers. I think he did either 10 years or 15 years in prison behind all that. And this is all coming from, this is what he said. It's not what I'm saying, but this is what he said and his legal person that was on that live stream.
And what organization was he with? ISUPK.
No,
I'm not sure. I'm
no,
not sure who he was
ISUPK.
with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Konat said, if I'm not mistaken, he may have said the organization that was a part of, because I think we addressed him and I asked him if, or he addressed him and I asked him, is he part of your organization? And I think he said no, and then he gave the name. But I mean, people may be able to find out. But indeed, if you make the calculation with this,
ICGJC.
I wouldn't know off the top of my head. Obviously,
Okay.
I wouldn't know. Even if I hear it again, I wouldn't remember. I mean, they have all these acronyms and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, indeed, from his date of birth, according to this document, and the date of arrest, which is 1994, that gives us 18 years old. Now, depending on the month, we'll know if it was 18 or 17. But the date of arrest is not necessarily the date where the crime was committed. But
Right. Yeah.
I could understand the statutory rape if they're only 2 years apart. If it's like 18 and she's 16, or if he's 17 and she's 15. But
Hmm.
the rape
Yeah, you
is
still got rape. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And you also have involuntary deviant sexual intercourse. I mean, come on now.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. So some people, they will say, okay, well, then we have 102 comments now. Um, they will say some stuff to make themselves look like, they. I don't want to say like they were victim, but like, they were kind of wrongfully charged or wrongfully
Yeah,
sentenced or
that's
accused. So it
exactly
would
what
say,
they
oh,
said.
she was only 2 years behind, you know what I'm saying? But what about the rape?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly. I
So
mean, I can throw out the statutory. I can rule that
yeah,
out, right? But what
yeah,
about all this other stuff?
yeah, for 2 years apart, I ain't tripping on that personally. But what about the rape? And also the involuntary deviant sexual intercourse. So she recounted for both, but still the guy still did like so many years in jail. I mean, at one point, it's just a bit messy. But what can we do? What can we do? At least we're warning the people. We're warning those
Yeah.
women, you know what I'm saying? And now I understand why there's so few sisters in the conscious community, because some of them went through that. Some of their family members went through that. Some of their daughters went through that. And they don't really want to talk about this. You can understand, you know? But
Hmm.
now I do understand. I do understand. It's just messed up, man. And how will they feel when they see that the same guys who committed that happen to be on the conscious community platforms?
Right.
I will be disgusted
Exactly.
if that happened to one of my family member. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, Yo, it's the same thing as when you find out um, the police officer that's coming to help you is the one that raped you. It's the same thing. You know, it's terrible, man. It's your own people doing it to you under the guise of trust me, under the guise of we in this together, under the guise of we're the same ethnicity, under the guise of we have the same struggle, and then you turn all that around to victimize a person. That's the most disgusting, horrendous thing you could do. That's the what do they call that? That's a sellout. That's what that is, you know. And that's just what it is. It's a sellout, abdicating responsibility, abdicating any form of ethics, good ethics or morals. That you're basically victimizing, now becoming the victimizer. You know, you say you fighting for freedom, but instead you just say I'm going to become the victimizer now, and you just unleash it on anybody you want. It's sickness, dude. It's sickness. And again, you can't build a community with this behavior. Anything you could have, all of us could have 1,000, all of us could have $1 million, me, you, and Heru. But if we don't have trust, though, that $3 million goes far less distance because we don't trust each other. But when you develop trust through ethics, that $3 million could equal the same as it would equal for somebody else that has 1 billion. You see, trust, good ethics, and morals equals long distance things, and that's what they're doing. They're destroying trust in our community through any activity that they do. They should be ashamed of themselves. And by the way, Ma'at, if you believe in the spirit, which they probably don't, which they definitely probably don't, but for the people that do, just understand it all comes back to you. You want to retire? You want to have a decent life? You say, a lot of them, they might be doing it for the money or they might be doing it for some other reason. Well, guess what? You could go to hell. You could go to hell and you could become homeless. You could go to jail, right? You could lose any form of help that you have. All those things that you have right now that you took for granted, you could lose them all practicing these kind of ethics, you see? And you can only blame yourself for it. Nobody else to blame. You see, so we need to get out of that irresponsibility and just say it's not hard to practice good morals and ethics. And some people gonna laugh about it, but laughing, that just means you're a kid. You can't deal with anything serious without just laughing and just, trying to distract yourself from the truth. So
We've lost Jeheru and Ching Ching as well. Maybe Ching Ching left. Maybe Jeheru left as well. But I did mute you, Jeheru, because there was some background noise. But I just want to say, um, the guy has 7 alliances. 7. You know, it's Wildfang wrote that there might be some regular strategy meeting. I wouldn't be surprised. But the things that some people need to understand at this point, anybody can try anything. When you have convicted child molesters on your platform and other people who defend convicted child molesters, there's nothing you will do that will make up for it. That just looks so bad. You can put all the narratives you want, it's always backfiring. So either you continue your friendship with people who committed that, which is usually considered some of the lowest thing that a human being can do, to sexually abuse children, or You can just be quiet and not try to mess with people who disagree with that. Or you can display integrity and distance yourself from those people. You know what I'm saying? It's on you, but trust me, that anything else is not gonna go far. We've never seen that. We've never seen people publicly acting like it's cool and sweeping on the rug the fact that you have people. I mean, going after Sekou, making live streams about him, disrespecting him, going after me, making live streams about me. Now I didn't hear it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's disrespect. But yeah, the people who touch on babies, they don't get any smoke. You don't even realize how bad you look. Now, you guys will act like it was slander, like gossip. That's why they use the term gossip, to make it sound like, oh, it's not true and stuff like that. But guess who we played? Guess who we played? The same guy who said that's slander, it was himself, looking all uncomfortable until his Puerto Rican brother, living la vida loca brother, put the sister out of the panel. He couldn't handle that. I mean, come on, man. And then we've seen how sweet the dude was with Wack. We've seen how Sa was sweet with Wack as well. I never seen Sa using those terms towards Wack. You know what I'm saying?
He was bagging him. He was bagging him. He. I mean, the way that he displayed himself in front of Wack, I would never respect a person like that. Just like Wack said, that's not a person that deserves respect. That's a scrupulous person that's willing to do anything, even get down on their knees, straight up. That's what that is. If you want to interview, you go in, you state your case. If you don't get it, you move on. That's what a man does. You don't sit around there and beg. But Wack was able to squeeze it out of him because he saw it coming a mile away. You see what I mean? Because everybody's coming to Wack for an interview. But what makes it worse is that he showed he's willing to sell out, to scheme against the very person sitting next to him that he have on this panel every day, another brother that he claims he respect. We respect Captain Zariak, whatever his name is, Tazariak. And then he's doing them under the table the whole time. And then Tazariak's doing Sa under the table the whole time. Man, that is what suckers do. That's called, anybody can come in and divide and conquer you and take you completely out, your whole crew, just because you two are willing to backstab each other for nothing, for peanuts, for an interview. That's the lowest of the low, the cheapest of the cheap. You get treated like dirt that way, straight up.
But we heard the audio, and for those who just arrived recently, you can hear that.
You're wrong. You don't know. Everybody on my circuit, they against the Israelites. We hate the Israelites. We can't stand their doctrine.
But Tazaria kind of, betraying Sa. Is it something that was heard in the audio that we heard the last time, or is it a different audio? Like what was said? I'm not.
It was two different ones, the back to back that you played yesterday. They both from Clubhouse, I believe. You should just play yesterday's thing because you rolled them back to backs with no interruption. So,
do you recall what was said? Like, how he was basically playing stuff.
Yeah, I forget because Wack was playing a pre-recording where he was explaining what's going on in two different pre-recordings to his homies, and one of them is Sarnetta, and the other one is Tazariak. And I believe the one with Tazariak on it, it had something about, what was it? Something in that. No, we should play it. He was explaining it to Sarnetta. He was typing them messages while they were talking together. Tazariak was typing messages to Wack about Sarnetta. While they all, man, you don't even know if that's what they was doing to you in that way, and sending each other messages. Say this now, or do But play it back. It's on your video, man. You played them both back to back. You should play it again.
And if somebody knows if they can send me Any link. Now we have, Clubhouse TV's YouTube channel, but if somebody can send me the link, even on my email, and the timestamp, because I don't want to listen to the whole thing again. I want to, something where we can get to the point. But they may have texted each other during the weigh-in. But one thing that's for sure is that before the weigh-in, all this thing was it was a there was a scenario basically. They agreed on what they were going to do. But all these things just backfired. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for those who don't even care about the children, about the sexual, about the child molesters, and we have celebrating the death of Africans, and this is supposed to be a Black Power channel. You know what I'm saying? So it's just weird at this point. But hey, everybody's free to do their thing. But the more I see the Pan African conscious community, and the more I'm like, man, well, FBAs, at least they don't celebrate the death of Africans, and I don't recall FBAs accepting child molesters. So sometimes in life you have to revalue the parameters. But anyway, I'm gonna put an end to this live stream. It's been 2 hours and 14 minutes. So all the monkey moderators, the only fine moderators, if you think that we should not criticize child molesters, then feel free to leave comments. Now make fun of us now. You can say it's gossiping, you can say it's old news, but can we criticize child molesters? Are we allowed to criticize child molesters? Sometimes I wish you would just speak from the bottom of your heart. You know what I'm saying? And anybody else, instead of sending me
You
profanities, it's never too late to have a discussion. But then I don't even know if I'll speak on the phone because I think I will be recorded. But there's some things that happens. It's like, well, it's gonna be difficult for me to ever trust these people because even at this point, if they say, okay, I'm sorry, I apologize, I'm like, man, with the stuff that I heard and things that I've seen, you're supposed to have a stance. You claim to be for Kemet, but then you're gonna, try to throw me under the bus for some Hebrews like that you supposedly hate. It speaks volume. But go ahead, if you Bennett, feel free to make your closing remarks, brother.
Yeah, Shaka. I mean, I would say you're not allowed to talk about molestation and rape if in the community, if it messes up the money, basically. And that was the case with basically Bambaataa. The money is where everyone showed their ethics was with. The money could get one of the victims, well, wait a second. I don't want to talk about the victims, but the lure of power, the lure of the industry, the lure of you could be cut out of something, the lure of, anything you heard in another friend or blah, blah, blah. But that's the problem. We got to reevaluate our own ethics. Right now, our children are not worth more than the dollar bill. That's what is being expressed here. And the dollar bill is just printed. It's manufactured. It's fake. It's false. It has the value that the government puts on it based on their weapons. It's not anything else. And, our children are not worth that printed money. That's what we show and we prove. And when you have this type of ethic that's accepted in your community, you remain at the bottom. You remain at the bottom and you experience the pain and the suffering that people experience on that bottom. It's terrible on the bottom. It's terrible there. There's all kinds of bad things going on there. And it's just sad, but it's a choice people got to make. And if you can't look at yourself and say, yeah, you know what? I didn't need to throw this next dude under the bus like that for an interview. If you can't look at yourself and really say that to yourself, then you can't help anybody else. There's no one you can help, you know? I feel sorry for, this is crazy, but I feel sorry for Sarnetta. He's not the first person that was seen as a leader somehow or seen as a figure that has been publicly shown for what they are. That hurts. And so I would advise other people, even though I'm not sure how he's going to deal with this, he might try to convince himself that it don't matter, but I would say avoid doing the same thing. He's not the only one, but avoid doing the same type of thing. Honesty, trust, it does matter. So try to do better. Anybody can do better.
Oh, yes, that's a great conclusion. We should all try to do better. We can do better in so many capacities.
Yo, peace to
So,
you, Shaka.
Peace
Peace
to
to
you,
you,
brother.
bro. I'm out, man. Hotel. All right.
Hotel, brother. Now, I'm going to do my usual closing remarks. Stay safe, stay healthy. If I'm allowed to by the next channel, I will holler back at you. I don't argue, I state facts. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Do I to do an HLO hotel?
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Neture class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/Ma'at Forever.